Hello and welcome for our next session on communication for BCA third semester, sessions number 29 to 32. And let us begin. In the last class, we have understood about the soft skill like confidence building, teamwork, and problem solving. Now, a very important another soft skill is communication. So, what is communication exactly? Let us understand the definition of communication. Communication is the process of exchanging information, ideas, emotions, and messages between individuals or groups to achieve understanding and mutual meaning. Dear friends, until you know that what is communication, communication is the process of exchange of ideas, information, and messages. But this is the last phrase of the definition is very important, that is to achieve understanding and meaning. You know why some communication fails? Because we communicate but we never try to know that we are supposed to achieve some understanding and we are supposed to understand some mutual meaning. So this is what, when it will be called as a perfect communication, when it achieves its understanding and meaning also. So yes, that is what the communication is called. So why communication is important? Some aspects are there. It is called importance of communication. One, when there will be a perfect communication, it builds relationships. It builds really a good relationships when you communicate with the people in front of you with proper techniques. So that is the importance of communication, and it enhances teamwork. When there will be a proper communication between the members of the team, it enhances the total efficiency of the teamwork, and it facilitates decision making. Yeah, as I told, when there will be a perfect proper communication among the members of the team, there will be a perfect decision comes out of the people or the member of the team. So that is how, even between the people, between the groups, if the proper communication takes place, then there will be a proper decision. Yes. Next, it resolves conflicts. It's very important. Most of us don't know that when you will have some communication, you will solve the problem. Yeah, there must be a proper communication, there must be perfect communication, there must be some down to earth communication, so that you can resolve your conflicts. Means there must be some gaps, misunderstandings. So when you communicate it properly, it can solve your conflict. Then it promotes understanding. When you resolve conflicts, obviously it promotes understanding among the members of the team or among the people who communicate properly. So this is what we call as importance of communication. And what are the major types of communication? These are the major types of communication, dear friends, as you can see on your screen. That is verbal communication. Yes, and verbal communications means through spoken or written. That is called verbal communication. Non-verbal, we don't write, but we don't speak anything, even though we communicate. That is called body language. It is very important, dear friends, for a proper communication. It is your body, the language. Through your body you communicate with the people. That is really a fabulous thing you must know. That is called as non-verbal communication. And next is through visual communication, we call it. What is that? Through charts to diagrams, we call it as visual communication. And you have experienced it a lot when you were when you were learning in your high schools or plus 1 plus 2 levels. Teacher used to show some diagrams and charts. Through that, there is a communication between you and your teacher. These charts and diagrams are used in almost all kinds of organizations, even in private, corporate sector, everywhere. And another kind of communication recent has developed is digital communication. Through emails, through messages, through video calls, or through YouTube videos, there is that is called digital communication. So these are some major types of communication takes place among the people or among the team members or among the organizations. So next, elements of communication. What things what aspects must be there to communication take place, right? So communication has to happen when these elements will be there. Yes, there must be a sender of the message. Okay, there must be a sender means the where the message originates, that is called sender. Maybe a person, maybe a computer, maybe anything device, or maybe some chart. This is called the place or the space where the communication takes starts its route to convince some ideas and emotions and feelings and information also. So next, so when there will be a proper sender, that sender sends a message, that is the medium. Through medium some message has been conveyed, so that is again a very important element of communication. And the medium, through what medium you communicate, is also a part of or element of communication. And there will be a receiver. So these are very important elements of communication: sender, message, medium, and receiver. So all these four aspects are very important elements of communication. And after receiver receives the message, he gives the feedback. He gives the feedback. So that is again another way of the communication process. So it is a reverse communication, right? So now among these there will be another kind of communication, that is another element of communication, sorry, that is noise. It is again one of the hitches of communication anyway, but noise is also called as element of our communication. And yes, when there will be no proper perfect communication, what are the problems? So that is called barriers to communication. Okay, and what are those things which make your communication poor? So very important is physical barrier, like noise. Whenever you will be communicating something, if there is noise, the process of communication will not be perfect. So like even distance also matter, right? So another thing, another barrier to communication is psychological barrier. What is that? Stress may be at the end, or it is with the receiver, or stress may be with the starting point, that is a sender. If there is stress or fear, the proper message will not rise, the proper message will not be conveyed. So this is a psychological barrier to communication. And semantic, when you will not be able to deliver the proper message through the usage of proper language, that is called jargon, like phrases, sentences, grammatical mistakes, overall language aspect, that is semantic barrier to communication. And now cultural, people when they want to communicate something, there will be some biased background, that is called cultural background of a person also decides the way the value or the values and the language they use. That is what it is. It will not be delivered properly if there is any cultural barrier, means biased communication, right? So these are some barriers to communication. And now the next thing is what are called as effective communication skills. When there will be effective communication, so clarity and conciseness. Whenever you want to communicate something to the people in front of you, something maybe, or the system in front of you, you must be very clear. And you must know that there must be some conciseness means in a short span of time, or in a short usage of words. Okay, language must be very clear and concise. If you want to tell something about a tree, if you go on telling about the tree for a long period, then that is not called as effective communication. There must be some conciseness, right? So next aspect of our effective communication skill is empathy. You must be empathetic towards the listener, towards the sender also. A listener has to be very empathetic towards the sender has to have some empathy towards the listener. So you have to, for example, almost all teachers, as always, when they will be given training, they will be told that you have to go to the level of students, that is called empathetical student level. So empathy and listening is also very important aspect of effective communication skills. And feedback, there must be very clear, there must be very honest feedback, and openness to receive the feedback is also an aspect of effective communication skills. And courtesy and respect. Okay, whenever you tell something, have some courtesy towards the listener. Whenever you will listen something, have some courtesy towards the sender, and we have to respect each other. It may be called as mutual respect. We have to have some respect to listen, to understand, to have some knowledge when something is communicated. So that is what an aspect of effective communication skill. So these are some four important effective communication skills, we may say. And let us conclude at the last. Communication is everywhere. Whenever we see things, whenever we listen to something, whenever we receive some information, whenever we receive some messages, whenever we see some charts, some videos, everything is called as communication. It depends both the sender and the listener. It even depends on the way the message, it depends even on the medium it carries. Okay, and effective communication is essential, it is very much essential for success in academic or professional, and even in personal life. Especially professional, we may take as private sector or government sector or anywhere. Professionals have to have some clear communication skills. So this is how you have to know, you must know that effective communication is essential for personal success, right? And it helps in building strong relationships and achieving common goals among the team members. It is everywhere, as I told in the last session of teamwork. Team means not the team which play games. Yes, team means the group of people who work in some organization, some government sector, some private sector, or anywhere in business sector, or in say corporate sector. Anywhere, people, group of people working for a common goal is called as team. So to achieve that common goal, to build strong relations between the all stakeholders, we may say, even between the teacher and the student, even between the teachers and teachers, everywhere, or even between the manager and the assistant, even between the higher officer and the lower officer, everywhere it is true that communication is very important. So various kinds of communication skills are there, types are there. So I hope you have understood a little bit on communication, and thank you. These are the sources I have referred to have some information about the above knowledge what I have tried to conveyed. So thank you so much. Here we stop the discussion on the communication. Thank you.